ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य Astrology's knowledge deep as sea नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ Constellations tell their stories to thee कुंडलिनी जगाओ आत्मा जागृत करो Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है Energy flows from deep inside
Welcome to the Astro Tarot Report for December 29th, 2024. Almost at the end of the year, and we've hit a new moon. So we'll be talking about that a little bit in this report too. I will not be doing a separate video. I'll be rolling them all into one in this video. And for those of you that are not aware, my name is Tony Victor, and you are listening to the Quicksilver Astrology Weekly Horoscope Report, and this covers all signs and all aspects of the week. So if you don't hear your particular sign catered to in this report, that's because it is a collective report for all people and the energies that we are experiencing at this time. So I will cover the first day. We'll get into that, the first aspect, which is our new moon, the sun conjunct the moon. And that happens at 9 degrees Capricorn. And that will be giving us the Two of Pentacles. But before I do that, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We do appreciate comments here, and it keeps us going, keeps us interested in doing this. And if there's listeners, then there's going to be more videos. All right, so it's kind of a symbiotic relationship here. I need listeners and subscribers in order for me to keep doing this and keep releasing this information. All right, with that being said, back to the Two of Pentacles in the sign of Capricorn. So this is kind of a situation where we're experiencing the back and forth juggling kind of feelings of our work relationship with our personal life. Okay, and that can be any number of things. It could actually be real physical relationships with other people as well as our jobs. And this has been a recurring theme here over the past couple of weeks. It seems like we've been running into the Two of Pentacles a lot lately here, and especially in terms of material concerns with Capricorn energy. I think we also ended up having the Two of Pentacles in Taurus either last week or the week before too. But definitely the Two of Pentacles is a concern. So work versus relationship and how that fits into our life. If we're having enough time for ourselves and leisure time too can kind of be a difficult situation for us. Sometimes we can feel trapped by work and not feel like we have enough time for ourselves or other people. That's definitely a major concern in this new moon energy. So watch out how you're handling your life. I mean, sometimes we just might not have a choice. We have to work to survive and live in this world. So it can be tough. But yeah, that is very much a concern. We may be considering also changing jobs. There may be another opportunity appearing for us. That can be that other pentacle. We had the one pentacle in one hand. That's what we're experiencing now. And the other one, which we may want to have or experience on the other hand. Okay, and that's that juggling sensation. How can we get what we want and still be stable and maintain our way of life as it is now? All right, December 31st. So we are moving on to the next aspect. We have the aspect of Moon trining Uranus at 23 degrees of Capricorn. That's where the Moon sits. And Uranus sits at 23 degrees of Taurus. Okay. So with that being said, we end up having the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. So together, what does this mean? It means taking an inventory of large structures, family situations, old money, wealth, investments. So lots of practical, physical concerns. Also be about investing in your family, as well as investing time in an institution. So was it all worth it? Maybe that's a question you're finding yourself asking now at this point in time about your job situation. It could very much be that. But yeah, those are very simple, obvious things that we're looking at here in the world of practical earthly concerns, being that it's Pentacles, and we're looking at Taurus and Capricorn at the same time. So finding an easy way to do them all, that's the trying here in this situation. Finding the best way to do these things and investing in the right places, doing the right things at the right time. So if you're considering making investments, now could be a good time. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, so please don't take any of my information as such. These are just observations I see in the world of divination in terms of astrology and tarot. So take that information as you will, but it is an easier aspect for the world of finances and investments in general right now, especially considering that the Ten of Pentacles is large sums of wealth, and it does look like it's good all the way around here in terms of those things I've just mentioned. Okay, so not a lot going on at the beginning of the week, and the third day kind of continues that as well. So on the first of the month now, finally, January the 1st, 2025, New Year's Day, we have the moon conjuncting Pluto at 1 degrees of Aquarius. So you're already sick of hearing this. I know. Pluto is right at that point where it's sitting right on top of the first degree. Yeah, we're kind of the way things are changing, though. We're going from the Five of Swords, which was not really a good place to start for us, and we are changing. Okay, so maybe not much better, but better than where we were, because we're still experiencing the divisiveness. That's not gone away yet. However, we are moving away from the problems, okay, with the Six of Swords. We went from the Five of Swords now to the Six. And while we've been sitting on that Five of Swords for a long time, the Six of Swords is about retreating. It's about taking some time off, some vacation, long trips, long journeys. And that's going to be something that we're going to be doing in a way collectively, okay? So Pluto's that outer planet. Aquarius is a sign of collectivity. So we're taking a journey somewhere together. Where are we going? Well, this is going to be a journey of revolution, being that it's a sign of Aquarius. Okay, so together we're journeying and we're moving into a new era. What's that going to look like? There's too much really to talk about. There's lots of changes taking place. And the Pluto is that biggest revolutionary planet, the way that it offers complete transformation, whether one likes it or not. It's not really a situation of choice, although it can be, and often better is if you're doing this consciously and you're aware of it. So conscious change versus change that's done for us. So not making a choice is making a choice. You're making a choice by not doing anything, because this energy will be used one way or another for you if you do not decide to use it actively and consciously to transform yourself. Things will stay the same, or they won't, and they could be positive. Hey, Pluto is also a card of boons, underworld boons, kind of digging up the wealth from the underworld. It could be that, but Pluto can also be a very destructive force too. It can completely obliterate things, or tear them down and just transform them. So Pluto is one of those cards it's not unpredictable, because really it's a long time coming sort of deal. Pluto's just working towards something, and using the conscious energy is a way for us to have more control over the manifestation of that energy. So that's what we're looking at there for Moon conjunct Pluto. That's really a small little peek into the energy. We could do a whole lot on that. And I know everybody's kind of been beating that dead horse to death in terms of Pluto and Aquarius and what that's going to look like. So I'm not going to get into that in this video. We'll just continue on. But there's only one other aspect to look at here for the rest of the 1st of January, Moon opposition Mars. Okay, so with this aspect here, we're looking at the Six of Swords again in that position where the moon is, right there in Aquarius at 1 degree, and then the Six of Wands at 1 degree of Leo. So interesting energy here. Still kind of that moving away, taking a retreat, traveling card energy with the Six of Swords. And then looks like others might be following behind us, okay, with the Six of Wands. So it can be a leader taking a long journey with others. And that can be a whole lot of different things right there. That could be a spiritual type of thing. Leo is a leader in general. He can be that. At least he likes to be in the limelight, the public view. That's Leo. He likes to do things, enjoy himself, and have a good time. So maybe it's following others in terms of following somebody in terms of a celebration. So leading the way, and others are following. But it's going somewhere. It's going on some sort of journey. Again, being the fact that we have that Aquarian energy, and then we also have that Leo energy too. It's something very central for all of us, a central concern for us. What that's going to manifest is that can be a number of things too. But I do see the fact that there is some sort of victory taking place. That is the Six of Wands. I definitely do associate that with being victorious. So maybe it's distancing oneself from a situation in order to gain the clarity necessary. And there's that Leo energy, the clarity, the sun, in order to gain the clarity to achieve your victory. So I think it might be a good idea to look at things on the whole, being that Aquarian energy, distancing yourself from that in order to see things that you're not able to see otherwise. If you're too close to the situation, it's hard to be objective about it. It's going to require a certain level of objectivity that you couldn't get otherwise. So distancing yourself from it in order to become successful and have a good positive outcome, whatever that may be. All right, January 2nd, this is Moon trine Jupiter, okay? So where the cards fall in their particular degrees here, the trine is a good thing. However, the cards we end up getting where the energy falls at, the planets fall, Moon in Aquarius and Jupiter in Gemini here, it can be difficult, okay? And it can be, Jupiter is something that it's a planet that likes to blow things up, in the sense it makes them bigger, makes them something to a force to be reckoned with, depending, okay? Okay, so our first aspect for January 5th is Moon square Mercury, Moon at 25 degrees of Pisces, and Mercury at 25 degrees of Sagittarius. So for Pisces, we have the Six of Cups, and Sagittarius, we have the Six of Wands. So Six of Wands, we're seeing that again this week. With the Six of Cups, it's about karma, the past, kindness, affection, a act of caring, giving, receiving. And then the Six of Wands, we've covered that as well before here in this same video, which is leadership, moving forward towards victory, people rallying around a leader. So I see it as mostly a kind and caring act of giving from some sort of leader. So there'll be a maybe it's a bonus from your boss at work. It could be that. A kind gift of kindness and affection and giving. Mercury, it can be about exchange of business things. Mercury can be that exchange of gifts, especially with the Six of Cups in there, although that is Pisces, and that's a particular moon placement. It may manifest that way, being that Mercury is there as well. However, it is a square. So maybe there's difficulty. Maybe it's something that a leader does not want to give, but they will anyways. It could be that, or might require some sort of convincing. Again, mercurial energy. So it's a difficult act for them to do, maybe because it goes against their own sense of the past, things that they're not used to doing. And however, that kindness and giving is an act that they're feeling they should be doing with Pisces. I think it's a act from some sort of deeply emotional place within them that they're going to do. So whether or not it manifests in that form, it might not be a leader, might not be that exact scenario. However, just the way those cards are put together, that's kind of what comes to the forefront here in terms of the likely description. So there's other things that can happen too. It can be either any one of those things I've already mentioned, just not the full manifestation, those combination of energies. You can have several events of those types of planetary energies going on with the Six of Wands and the Six of Cups separately, and then they just manifest throughout the day independently. It could be that too. But again, consciously taking action is a good way to make things work better for you. This is one of those things where the difficulty, and then the difficulty with the squares and the trines, I think that's less important once we actually see where the planets fall at the particular degrees. So we are traditionally looking at squares as a difficult thing. Oppositions can be difficult. Conjunctions can be either good or bad, depending if you have the more malefics than the other types of planetary energies. That could be a consideration too. But then I think with this system, it's interesting how this has all come together. And now we have the single cards, the single minor arcana cards as the representation of a singular degree. And then you start putting these things together, and things don't necessarily always look positive or negative in terms of squares and trines. You just might have them looking one way or another with a combination of cards. So this definitely puts an interesting spin on astrology as a whole. And that's why the system is so unique. And you can get a lot more out of this, I think, than just your standard astrology, especially when you look to the degrees and see that they have a specific type of energy to them. It's not just, your planet in your sign, and then not even within the particular decan either. I know that some of us are more familiar with the decans of the Golden Dawn system, which is kind of how the system derived in a way, partially so. So, there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye when we start looking at what the degrees actually mean. And without too much further ado, we're going to move to our next aspect here, which is Moon conjunct Neptune. And Moon is at 27 degrees Pisces. So when we go down the line here on our chart, 27 degrees will give us the Eight of Cups at 27 degrees for both Neptune and the Moon. And Eight of Cups is about moving, leaving things behind. Again, here, we've already kind of talked about this type of energy here with Neptune and Pisces, and also we had the Eight of Cups before too, leaving things behind, emotionally, something that's emotionally draining for us. So we're feeling that again, especially with the Moon conjunct Neptune. These energies are blending together, and it might even become more difficult for us, more difficult to leave something behind, but we need to in order to decompress and to heal, to recuperate. So take some time off. If you can take some extra time off this week after the holiday, after New Year's, you might want to consider doing that. Okay, so our last aspect for this week's report, on January 5th, we have, right after Moon square Mercury, we now have Moon trine Mars. Moon at 0 degrees of Aries and Mars at 0 degrees of Leo. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry. I meant to say following the Moon conjunct Neptune, but that's okay. Okay, and with this last aspect, we have the Two of Wands and the Five of Wands. And what we're looking at now is with that Mars energy, we kind of have difficulty making a decision. It's kind of picking a battle. So picking your battles, especially with the Five of Wands, is a very confrontational type of energy. So there's an opportunity to pick something or go through some sort of a doorway in terms of sort of an opportunity here. You might be able to avoid the situation if you pick the right thing to do. Okay, so it might be, instead of picking battles, avoiding it entirely. It could be that as well. Um, but the gentleman in the Two of Wands, he's holding the world in his hands. And then in the Five of Wands, they're kind of just having a free for all there. But the Mars energy is taking decisive action, and the Trine might be making that action an easier decision to make. So whatever opportunity is presenting itself, you do have the opportunity and the ease of choice to avoid conflict. That Trine, to me, signals a positive opportunity to avoid the conflict. And that's what I kind of see as I'm looking at these cards live here in front of you guys. That's kind of how it's manifesting to me. I like to do these, before in the past, I kind of planned these out, and now I'm just kind of reading them on the fly rather than reading them out, rather than reading them off, a pre-prepared speech for the video. So it's just me doing these live now, and I like that because the live divination kind of tends to hold more truth in terms of how things manifest. Looking back on these readings a week later and seeing how things kind of transpired energetically. But that's the end of this report. It's kind of shorter than usual. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And check out my website at Quicksilver Astrology. There are books available if you're interested in learning more about what it is that I do and my spiritual practices. There is a tarot card deck, which you can get. It's still on the website. However, the graphics for the cards are having difficulty appearing. So I'm going to work on that as well. But that is it for today. I hope I'll see y'all next week. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
ज्योतिष का ज्ञान यह रे रहस्य Astrology's knowledge deep as sea नक्षत्र कहानियाँ कहता यहाँ Constellations tell their stories to thee कुंडलिनी जगाओ आत्मा जागृत करो Awaken Kundalini, let your spirit rise ऊर्जा भीतर से बहती है Energy flows from deep inside